Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Waves Africa Developer YouTube channel. I'm going to introduce you today to Wave Signer. Now, Wave Signer is a new kid on the block in the Waves ecosystem. It is amazing, I love it, and I think you will love it too. That's why I'm doing this video. So now come along with me and let's sign with Wave Signer. Now, before we understand what Wave Signer is, let's talk about its predecessor. Let's go back down memory lane. Now, if you've seen the Wave Skipper video on our channel, you know what Wave Skipper is. If not, let me just introduce you to it. The Wave Skipper is a technology that helps Waves users to store accounts data and use it for authorization in third-party apps and creating transactions. So what that means is the Wave Skipper allows you to safely interact with the apps from third-party websites. Alright, it's a browser extension that is available on Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Opera, and Brave. Okay, so yes, it was good. WaveSkipper makes you keep your seed secure and all that, but it had some limitations. Number one, you need to install it. So if you're visiting a D app and it's saying maybe sign in with WaveSkipper and you don't have WaveSkipper installed, there's another layer of complexity in which you have to go to your browser extension store, get it installed, and set it all up before you move back to the site and actually get on doing your business. That is too complex. So because of that, it really wasn't that great, but it's still good. And on top of that, it does not work on mobile browser because mobile browsers, Chrome, do not have ability for you to install extensions inside them. So with this limitation, it gave our users in the Waves ecosystem a not so great experience. And that's why Wave Signer was created. What is Wave Signer? A Wave Signer is a TypeScript or a JavaScript library for your web app. So you use it to interact with the Waves blockchain. So it's like a protocol in which you could interact with external library providers, which will allow you to authenticate your app and also sign transaction. So look at it as a like if you visit a website and they need you to sign in, you could see options like signing with Facebook and signing with Google. So Wave Signer is like that, in which it's a layer on top of the blockchain, which allows a web app to be able to connect to different external providers in order to either authenticate the user or to validate or sign transaction. So with Wave Signer, you would be able to have access to these external providers. You could use the Waves.exchange client, which should be on the web app or the desktop app. You could also use Wave Skipper if you want to, or you could use a ledger or any other private key storage for that matter. So Waves Signer gives you the ability, gives you options in for you to sign transactions or authenticate a user in your D app. So you say you could use Waves.exchange, you could use the Waves desktop client, or even Wave Skipper itself, or any other ledger or private key storage. So in this video, we'll be focusing on the Waves Exchange provider. So we're going to use the Waves Exchange in order to authorize a third-party app, which I'm going to demo to you shortly and show you how easy it is to integrate Wave Signer in a web app. So these are the assumptions for this video. And we'll be using a web app that was developed in Nuxt. So I'm assuming you are familiar with Vue or NuxtJS, and you also have Node.js installed in your system because Wave Signer is an npm package, so you're going to need Node in order to install it. And the focus for this video, guys, is on Wave Signer. So do not really bother about my tech stack, whether I'm using Nux, whether I'm using React. It's going to be almost the same experience across all front-end development frameworks. Okay, so this is my demo. This is the app we're going to be creating, and watch it to see how I authenticate this app using the Waves Exchange service provided by the Wave Signer. And you could see, guys, with that 2 clicks I'm authenticated myself, and clicking back on it would also log me out, and I will show you how to do that on the Wave Signer as well. So you could clone this project by visiting the GitHub repo link on your screen. Okay, now let's get started. So I'm going to go to my code base. Now I've already created a demo application using Nuxt. So I'm in Visual Studio Code. I'm going to quickly open my terminal in order to run this project. So I'm going to run yarn dev. So this should start up a local development server for me, which you could see my application. So I'm just going to go to my browser. Yeah. And that should start up my local application for me. So Nux is still loading. So it's going to load up in a bit. So give it a while. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to quickly change a setting over here. I want this mode to be a single page application. Alright. So like I said before, we are mostly focused on the Wave Signer part, not the Nux development part, but I would explain some stuff that I think you might understand as I go on. So I want this application to be a single page application, and I do not want it to be client side rendered. Okay, so I want it to just be able to load on my browser. Okay, and yeah, start my development server again. Okay, so it's opening in this port. Oh, grab that port for me, and now quickly paste it here. If everything is good, that should be able to open it up. Yes. So good. So this is our demo project. Okay. And if I click on this button, it's going to just load because nothing is really happening. Actually, it's just the link. So definitely it is doing what links do. So in a bit, we are going to apply some logic for it to work. Now, before that, since we'll be using Wave Exchange provider, make sure you have an account, and we'll be working on the testnet network of the Waves blockchain. So you visit testnet.waves.exchange and sign in. So if you click sign in, I'm already signed in, but if you don't have an account, you could create one. Okay, so I'm already signed in. So if I sign in now, I click on continue, then I should be in the testnet. So this is the link we are using, testnet.waves exchange. Make sure you have an account there because that is the account that the Wave Signer is going to use to authenticate you as a user or your users as well. So with that out of the way, let me show you how the steps we're going to take. First of all, we're going to npm install the Wave Signer package and also install the waves.exchange provider web. So this is the provider and this is signer. So I'm going to quickly copy that up. So I've already installed it, so it's going to be a little bit faster in mine. So I'm going to start up a new terminal and I will just paste that in. Okay, so using npm to install. So I use yarn. I set up this project using yarn, so I'm just going to say yarn. So both steps using npm and yarn, both of them are going to work. But just to be consistent for me, I started all this front-end application using yarn, so I just want to be consistent. So if I say yarn add, it's going to add both packages for me. So let's wait up for it. Okay, installing. So while it's installing, let me just quickly show you a little bit of Nuxt. I like the framework. So the page you saw is under the pages directory. For those that's going to clone my repos, going to install Nuxt. The other page directly is in the index page. So this will be the home page for your application, which is the one we could see right here. Okay, so you could see Wave Signer, what is showing here, and this is just the this is just the default, the boilerplate for a Nuxt application. That's why you still see the Nuxt logo there. So I'm not really focusing on that. I'm just focusing on the functionality. So Wave Signer has been installed, and also the Waves Exchange service provider as well. Okay. So if we go back, so that step 1 is done. Okay, so I'm just going to put done. So step 2 is the importation. All right, so we're going to import both wave signer and the provider. All right, using ES6 modules importation. So I'm going to come here. So this is where I'm going to import it. So I'm going to say import waves from at wave signer. Let me just say waves at waves. Let me show, you know what, guys, I just copy it so so we can say okay, wave signer, signer. Okay, I have a typo, that's why it wasn't really auto completing. So from wave signer, okay, also import provider from to waves exchange. So waves s.exchange a provider. So good. So now, so let me just quickly add some comments here. Importing packages, then instantiating packages, instantiating objects. So we're going to create new objects from both importations, which we just do, which is step 3. Okay, now I'll quickly just copy this and I will explain what it does in a bit. Okay, now okay, all right, then also I would copy for the provider as well. So let me explain what I'm doing here. Okay, so now what I'm doing here is I'm creating a new object for both the waves. So the waves object, create a new waves from the waves class, which will import from the waves signer package, and also here. So when I'm in, so I pass in an object called node URL to this waves constructor here. Okay, so what it is I'm telling it, hey, wave signer, use this testnet URL. Okay, now you could also pass in the mainnet URL, but we want to be on the testnet since we are testing, right? So also I'm doing the same thing for the provider. So using the testnet.wave.exchange signer. So this is what you pass. So you pass in a string to the provider, but you pass in an object. All right, and the key of that object is node URL. Okay, so I hope that is understandable. Then lastly, I'm just going to say waves dot dot set provider, then provider. I'm just going to pass in that provider which we created, and we are all set up. Okay, we are all set up. So now don't mind the errors. These are my LinkedIn errors. Let me just quickly fix that. Okay, just fix my LinkedIn errors. So you okay, so LinkedIn errors all fixed now. Okay, so since we are done with setting up provider to signer, yes, and we have instantiated the objects. Now let's create a method here. I'm going to call this method call signer. Okay, call signer. Now what we want is when the user clicks this login button, we want to call signer to authenticate the user, and also want to also call signer to log out the user, because signer also have that functionality. So I'm going to put at click here. So at click is a view directive that creates a click event on an element. So it's creating a click event on this element. Now, since this element is a link, it's going to try and go to this hash URL, which is not there. So I want to prevent the default behavior. So the click event has a modifier called prevent. So what is this now is telling it, hey, prevent the default behavior. Okay. So when you are click, call this method only and do not visit the link. All right. So I think I could remove the target since we don't really need it. All right. So good. So that is it. Now I want to do one thing. also, I'm going to replace this value with a variable. I'm going to call it login button text. Okay, so I'm going to show you where that variable is going to come from in a bit. So yeah, I got an error there. Make sure you put your comma. So I'm going to create a data. I'm going to call it login button text. All right, and it's going to be the same login you just saw. Okay. All right. So yeah. So okay. And also I'm going to create a boolean variable as well called is authenticate. I'm going to set it to false by default because I would use it to test whether to log in the user or to log out the user. All right. So if that's good, let me quickly run lint again. So yes, lint will be happy. Okay. All right. So I believe everything should still work in our application. Yeah, you could see it. See showing the login, right? But it's reading it now from a data variable or a state of my application. So to make sure that if I say login now, it's going to update. Okay, so good. So let's just call it login now. Let's leave it to login. Right, leave it in login. So now this is where we'll interact with Waves signer. Okay, so now this method, I want to make it an async method. So I could use async and wait ES6 syntax. Okay, so I'm going to say if this, because this is making reference to this view component, if this is authenticated, I'm going to say if not. So I want to say if it's false, then you're going to try using the try catch just to avoid any errors. So I'm going to create user data because the login is going to return the address and the public key of the user that has been authenticated. So I'm going to say await waves.login. It's that simple, guys. So I wait waves.login, and I'm also going to say, so if this login goes through, I'm going to say this dot login button text is equal to, using ESC string interpolation or string literal if you may, I'm going to say sign in as, I'm going to use this, the user's address. So I'm going to say user data dot address. Okay, so that's if it's authenticated. So I'm going to catch any error, and also if there are errors, I'm just going to also print the message on the button. All right, login test. I'm going to say error dot message. Okay, so that's it, guys. That is it. That is how you set up authenticating a user. So let's just see if it works. So yeah, so if I click on the button now, then it calls Wave Signer, and just like any OAuth, like I'm just going to put my password here and log in, and you can see I'm signed in as, so it picked my address. Okay, signed in as my address there. So that is how you authenticate a user using Wave Signer. So easy, and just with a couple of lines of code, we are through. But we're not really that done. So we say if it's on. So what if it's not authenticated right now? That means if it's true, right? So let's make this is authenticated true. It's going to say authenticated will now be true, but yes, the user has been authenticated. So else, so if this user has been authenticated and that button is also clicked, we're going to call waves.logout. Alright, so this is another method on the waves object, waves.logout, and we're going to say this dot is authenticated is equals to false. Okay, and we are also going to change the button test. So login button test is equals to login again. Alright, so that is it. That is basically it, but I like wrapping this in a try block just in case it fails. So I'm just going to put try, well, not try E, but try if I can spell. So I'm going to put it there. Okay, so yeah, my catch, that's the entire idea of it, right? My catch up there. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to quickly copy this, grab this bad boy, put him here. and instead of just message, so the user would know what is going on. All right, that's been just 6 errors. So there, so I'm just going to run yes linked so that yes linked will be happy. Okay, good. And let's see if it works. So since it load the application, I'm not really persisting state in this app. That's not the focus of this app. But if I was persisting state, I would be maybe saving the login state and the login data in local storage or whatnot. But just to show you how we sign work, we're not persisting state in this application. So if I click on login again, okay, yeah, I'm signed in. So if I also click back in, I'm logged out. So with that, we've created a basic authentication using the wave signer. You could see the API is so easy, so good, and all the setup is just straightforward, guys. So I really encourage you to give this a try. Alright, so clone this repo, play out with it, play with it, and see how wave signer really works. So let's do a quick recap. Okay, a quick recap. So we installed, let me go to my to-do list. So we installed wave signer using the npm package manager, and we also installed the wave exchange provider because that's the one we'll be using, right? So then we import it. We import both the wave signer package and also the provider package. Then we instantiate a new object for the waves and also a new object for the provider. Passing in for the provider, we pass in the testnet URL for the waves exchange platform, and also we pass in the testnet URL for the waves network. Okay, then afterward we set the provider, which is what we are doing in our code here. Okay, then I created an async function which is going to make sure that this value here is already set before I call this. So it's going to await. So that's the async await. So it's asynchronous JavaScript. So you could use promises, but I prefer the syntax because it's really straightforward and it's flat. It's understandable. So I'm waiting for this value. So I'm waiting for waves to log in. So once it's logged in, I'm going to save in the value that it's going to bring here. So let me quickly show you those values. So I'm going to console.log user data. Okay. Now if we go back here, I'm going to go to my console. Okay, so what's my console? So if I click this and I log in, yeah, you're going to see what it brings, right? It's bringing back the address and the public key. So this is the object it returns back, the address and the public key. So I'm using the address to display back here. So this is the address I'm using here. Okay. So that's to explain that. Good. So this is just my logic. So I don't want to use two buttons, one for login and one for logout. So using a single button, I just want to implement. This is my implementation. So you could have a separate logout button, which you could implement this logout functionality there. But I decided to do it like so because I kind of find it easier, if you may. All right. Then using view syntax, I added an event, a click event to this link element here. All right. And I'm calling the signer method here. So that is it, guys. I hope this brief video introduced wave signer to you and you could try it out in your DApp. If you're building DApps on the Waves platform, you could just try that and let me know your feedback. Thank you.